Hey guys, what's up? We're doing a replay review of Bargain Bin Bonjwas CPL team. That's my team, NiteKat. This is a CPL game against Escalade for this week. I don't know if it's week 4 or 5 or 6. Get kind of lost there, but it's gonna be a TvP on Radeon. So let's get into it. We'll turn off the Protoss vision and see what we do. Avoid this patch right here. That's the worst minimal patch on the left side. We're making a little sim city for our marines here. There's two gaps here to avoid zealots. I didn't see the gas timing, but I think we'll know from the factor timing whether it was any good. Going out for 13 scout. We see the probe. This is kind of a I would say early-ish probe because it's getting to us before our factory, or not factory, our racks is complete. So I would suspect a close spawn as possible, but you can't really read too much into it. You just know that you saw a probe, but keep that in mind. Got 3 on gas. We're making a marine because we saw the probe. We're making our second depot. Our factory is getting up at 233. Okay, a little slow, but it's okay. A couple seconds, not a big deal. This SCV, I noticed that it stopped here for a little bit. So when you scout with this SCV and it hits the first location, that's right around the time that you're pulling SCVs off of gas and you're trying to make the factory and you're trying to, chase the probe with the marina and whatnot. So I would say always remember to shift Q this guy here to a second spot. Okay, so in case you're not able to get him to the second spot earlier manually, at least he kind of shift Qs over there. So obviously it's ideal if you go here and you don't see a nexus and you send him, but if you shift Q, at least you save some time. Okay. I don't know what this SCV was doing chasing that probe. Probably just forgot to take him off the chase. And we are going for in scout, okay? It's fine. Here comes the zealot. See how we do with the zealot micro. Very good, very good. Really good. Save the SCV, okay. Keep shooting. Let's keep shooting the okay. We're doing good at the beginning. What you want, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to come out, shoot it a little, run away. I think then we sort of stayed over here a little bit too long so that this zealot started getting damaged. And when the zealot's in your mineral line, you do not want to pull all your SCVs like this because what is this, like 11 SCVs that are not mining? Regardless of if you killed the zealot or not, these guys are... You're taking so much damage from not mining. That's kind of worth it no matter what happens to the zealot. So, would not do this. Instead, you can have a couple of SCVs attack or just try to run the SCV that's getting hit. But more importantly, bring the marines to fight the zealot, because at that point you already have 4 marines, right? There's nothing to fear anymore from the zealot. Gets a little hairy here because this second zealot shows up, but our vulture's out, so we're fine. And we know based on this zealot timing that and because we scouted, that it's not some super cheesy sensor gate or something. This is just like normal, very normal zealots, like just a 2 or 3 zealot build. Okay, and we saw same thing here again with the shift Q. If we had shift Q'd here, this guy to here, this guy would already be scouting top right while we're microing this. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, look like we're just not mining with all of these, and we had sufficient forces to fight that stuff back. Get add-on immediately. We have to get that like ASAP because the goons are going to be coming. We're not getting add-on for a very, very, very long time here. I mean, prioritize the bunker over add-on or CC. Yeah. So add-on, this add-on is gonna finish at a time when normally you would have mines after making one vulture. That's a big deal. Okay, we see this guy's Nexus is finished, so it's quite a bit ahead of our CC, and that's because they unfortunately this will happens when you end scout and last scout, you just see them really, really late. And we don't know if they were going Nexus or range or tech, and so I guess we got a safety bunker, which is okay. I'm okay with this because at least we got our third depot down before this bunker, so it's all right. But the add-on should have been faster. We see his researching range. We see 2 goons. We see 3 pylons. We didn't get to make it in here, but I think with this Nexus, it's safe to say that it's not going to be fast DTs or anything like that, so it's okay. And we don't, yeah, we start mining around 6 minutes. We lost our vulture. Didn't get the 2 mines down. Not great. Getting harassed at the front, repairing, lost our bunker, lost our tank. Again, not ideal. The fact that he's able to, the Protoss able to YOLO do this goes back to the late add-on and therefore late mines, and therefore we couldn't put our mines down before he had a lot of Dragoons feeling confident enough to step into the map and plug his choke. So if we had faster mines and he saw the mines getting detonated as he's walking across, it would really make him think twice. And if you get faster mines, you can afford to make more vultures to put even more mines. But if you have slow mines, as his goons are already coming across the map, then you're kind of forced to make tanks to defend the bunker. Kind of snowballs a little bit from that add-on. So normally they wouldn't be able to come out here without ops, right? That's the point. Searching for a hidden something over here. Even if we scouted them that early time with the Nexus, the eBay is a little late here. 8-minute eBay is cutting a little dicey because we also don't know if he took a third over here. If he took a third over here, okay, I'm more okay with the eBay being this late. But all we saw was that he came across the map with like 6 range goons without ops. So could still be a DT drop that he's doing. We're a little light on workers, but relative to our opponent, we're doing okay. Just relative to general metrics, you want to have 50 workers at 8 minutes. Obviously, this game had some early game chaos, so I would discount that down to like 44. Okay? So we're short a couple workers, and I noticed there's some gaps in making these, and then we realize and then just queue up 2, which means that we have $100 less that we can do to make other things, but sort of just minor optimizations. Nothing game breaking so far. We get our 3 factories up. It's good. Getting some turrets up. Fine. We don't have any vision on the map. We don't know what the Protoss is doing. Is he taking third? Is he taking a fourth? We did see this cannon. I guess we can assume that he's taking his third. But I would have liked to have slightly more intel with either one vulture or I think our comsat finished a little bit later on the later side too. Like we're at 10 minutes with our first scan. 10 minutes is kind of like you should already have a pretty good idea what the Protoss is aiming to do. Yeah, we just don't know. This Protoss could be going straight fleet beacon because we never saw OBS either. So no OBS and could be fleet beacon, and then we need to really change up our game plan. Right? If we're out here, we have to be sieged. This is this is going to get busted by any Protoss that's on top of their game. As soon as they see this, they're just going to rush in. They're going to prepare to rush in. And so we have to be very careful when we're out on the map like this. Right now, this counts as out on the map because we don't have mines or vision anywhere. The entire Protoss army could be here with speed zealots and drops, right? So this needs to be sieged, and there needs to be a turret going up to deny the vision. I like the third timing. That's very good. Pre 11-minute third is good. I don't like these scans. Okay, these are the first two scans we're using this game. And what we did was we scanned here to see if the army was there, but our vultures were about to confirm that anyways. And then we scanned here to see what the rally point consisted of. Which is, that scan's okay, but I guess the first scan was not good. I would have instead scanned here for his gateway count and tech. Is it 8 gateways, 10 gateways, 4 gateways? And that should give us a good idea of what we're facing. And then you scan here to see what his rally point has. If it's all goons, for example, then he hasn't started zealots yet, and he doesn't have zealot speed anytime soon. If there's already zealots here, and you might see some rallying out, you're gonna have a good sense of zealot speed. If zealot speed is done, it is gonna be very difficult to push, and you need to take it more carefully. If zealot speed is not done, and it's just goons, then you can be a little bit more cavalier with your tanks and vultures, because even unsieged tanks and a good amount of vultures can fight pure goons just fine. You can siege like 2 tanks in that kind of fight. But right now, we still have no idea what strategy the Protoss is going for. I mean, again, it could be anything. I haven't watched this replay in advance, so I'm going from what you're seeing as well. So I don't know what caused our decision to kind of move out a little and then come back based on those 2 scans, but I'm actually okay with this decision to just sit back and try to macro up. But again, we need to know what the Protoss is doing. So try to get some vultures here and run in, and or just use the scans that we have available now. We need to increase our factory count at this time. It's 11 minutes in. We've started our 3rd CC. Need to go up to 7 right now. Need to start +1 armor here. And again, these guys need to be sieged. I know we have all this vision now, but it just have to get into the habit. It can't be left like this. You're gonna get punished. Transfer workers to the 3rd now. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're getting vision of whether the Protoss has a 4th. But I think, like, generally you don't need to deal with every single vulture, because if they get caught, you lose 8 vultures and now you're down lost supply. It's going to delay your timing push by quite a bit. Just take like 4, okay? Still no turret here. And again, the scans have to be on the Protoss main. Okay, now we see what, finally get a scan. Okay, we see double Stargate Arbiter with a very low gateway count for this time in the game, like 4 gateways. Imagine if we had scanned this with our first scan, we might have been able to like decide to commit to the 5-fact and push out here and see what kind of damage we could have done. And maybe, you know, damage this 3rd, or at least force him to make like 8-10 gateways once he saw that you're coming, instead of making 2 Stargates. Because no one who's seeing that push coming is probably going to say, okay, I'm just going to hold it with 4 gates and make 2 Stargates at the same time. They're at least going to make some more gateways earlier, right? And that will slow their Arbiter tech just by you coming out because you scanned that he had a low gateway number. We're going up to 6 facts, but we need 7. The next 2, after 5, the next 2 should be added at the same time, and then you add your 8th after the 7th is done. SCV transfer is late, so you're not going to be enjoying your third for quite a while. I think, yeah, okay, Goliath range. I was going to say we need that. I think we just forgot about +1 here. These SCVs got stuck because of the depot wall. You have to shift Q around to get those guys back inside. Here I'll probably just make a 4th CC right here, ready to float it over. And again, these guys need to be positioned better. We see he's coming now with the mines. Okay, so okay, those are some pretty fat mines. So we're in position. So those mines are awesome, right? Like we got to see him coming ahead of time. But we're out of supply, 150, where we should feel, and add your third scanner as soon as you can when you see its arbiter. You're going to need all the scans that you can muster. We're at a supply where we can actually just start creeping out here with intent to take the 4th and make a starport. We have a starport. Okay, that's good. But like we shouldn't be turtling back here anymore because the Protoss is never going to come there. They don't have to. They can just take the rest of the map and make like 20 gateways and whatever. So sitting here hoping that the Protoss is going to sack their army is just, it's not good. Once you're at the supply, you want to start establishing operations out here with turrets, mines, and tanks spread out. Leaving a couple tanks here is good enough. He's not going to come try it again, right? So we don't need 5 guys here. We need to probably just leave 1 and then take the rest out here. But now we're sieged and we're like super turtling now. I guess our plan is to wait for 200 and then move out. 7 facts. Yeah, at this point we probably want to be on 9 facts, especially given the float. It's okay to make more factories to compensate for floating. Nothing wrong with that. And 4th CC should have been made earlier, much earlier. 3 on gas is needed here because we're gonna start getting double upgrades, I assume. Okay, if you forgot +1 armor and your sci-fi finishes, just get +2 weapons instead. The 1-1 is not as good as 2-0. So we know that he has 2 Stargate ARBs, right? If we're gonna be turtling here and just building out our base, what we should be doing with this time is taking 4 vultures, mining around our minerals here, making 3 turrets here, putting mines here, putting 3 turrets here, a couple of safety turrets here, more mines here, and then turret here in the middle, turret here in this alleyway, so that, you know, sometimes their ARBs just try to fly over like through this path here. Mines here as well. That's what we can spend our time doing. I see we're like laying a couple here and there, which is good. So we get the idea, just need to execute on it. And that is more important than this, okay? The chance of these 4 vultures getting any significant recon or damage is extremely low. Any Protoss is going to have a pylon wall or a Reaver here or cannons or whatever. So this is a very low probability chance for it to be impactful. But it's certainly taking a lot of our actions to administrate, right? Putting mines down around the places that I talked about, it's always going to be good because then you just feel comfy going out and taking your 4th. And if you see the ARB on the map, you know that at least some of the recall is going to be killed by the mines, and you can clean up with reinforcements from the factories or whatever's left over at your rally. This is taking away, this is lesser priority. If once you got all that handled and you're moving out and sieging and you have spare hands to do this stuff, okay, then you can do this stuff. We got 2 probes, 3 probes, 4 probes. Okay, but Protoss is on 5 Nexus and 60 probes, so he can just remake those very easily. All he has to do is A-move some Zealous to take care of that, right? It doesn't take him much. Here comes the first recall. That recall was pretty good for us. There was only 2 turrets, so Actually, if the Arbiter kept going into the main, this would have been kind of painful. That's why we needed 3 turrets up here to deny him from going to the main. And mines back here. It's kind of just worked out that Protoss didn't choose to go for a deeper recall. Now they're gonna have some stasises. Now let's rewind this. Okay, I think I know what happened. Let's just confirm. So the recall comes. 3 on gas. Comsat. The recall comes and we basically blast it, but it's not a very big recall, right? It's like 1.5 control groups or so. You have to assume, if you look at your supply and it's maxed, you have to assume that the Protoss is like beyond maxed. Like they're maxed with bank, right? Thousands of dollars of bank and many, many gateways. That has to be your assumption if you're playing against somebody of equal skill level. So, and then we saw this guy coming over here, and then we kind of come over to defend, but we're not. Siege is kind of late. So this could have been kind of unfortunate. Protoss is not stasising, so they actually took quite a bad trade where their army's dead by the time they used up their stasis and they lost both orbs. So this is excellent push timing right here. We got 3 arbs and a recall worth of army and another A-move group of army. We've retained all of our tanks. Now is the time to add factories, queue up all your factories, make sure they're all pumping for the next like minute or so. Get your upgrades rolling, the +2 attack. Waiting for this to unfreeze, get some vultures out on the map to scout around. Take your 4th. And then once these unfreeze, you just unsiege everything and you start setting up in the middle. Because Protoss is not going to be able to stop you from doing that. You won these so convincingly that you deserve to reward yourself with a 4th and a better position on the map. We do not want to stay here for the rest of the game because that will basically tell the Protoss, okay, you gave us these donations, but I'm not going to punish you for it. You can go ahead and play your game. We do not want to do that. So we are taking the right idea here. Taking the 4th, getting some vision, waiting for this to unfreeze, pumping from our factory. So this is all good. It's all good stuff. Okay, unsiege and go. Here. We're spending time on this vulture exercise that again, it's good in theory, but it's very low on the priority list. Okay, it looks flashy when we watch pros do it, and it's just pretty awesome. But like this factory is not pumping. This factory might be missing the next tank because this one's queued and this one's not, and this one doesn't have anything. These vultures are all double queued. Good. I don't know what the gap was between this vulture and the last vulture. We're mined out of here and haven't transferred. Still not mining 3 on gas here. Still not comsat here. Haven't unsieged these. Not the time to be doing vulture forays. And we need to set up our 4th with tanks, turrets, and a ton of mines for his recalls. Because he's pumping 2 Stargate Arbs, right? He's just going to be recalling all game. And we see here he already has 3 Arbiters ready to go. After we killed 3. Guy's whole army is Arbiters. Imagine if we spent those actions with the vultures on doing those things. Right? Still haven't moved out yet, even though the stasis ended at like around 18, I think. So for a full minute, we're still trying to consolidate and gather our army. I don't know if the replay broke because I rewinded too many times. No, I think it's... Wait, I can't tell. Crap. I think it's still working. Okay. He recalls another 3 arbs. That's so many arbs, man. We're defending this really well. Like, it's a pretty good trade, I would say. His army was like, our army was right next door, right? Lost some SUVs. Queue up. Just queue up a bunch from all 4 CCs and rally them here, and you've replenished it. You're fine. Siege out onto the map though. We need to get onto the map. Turrets, mines at the 4th. This dead space behind our Radion is so annoying. Sometimes I make wraiths just to kill the Arb that's camping there. It looks like we're going for a split map. But again, like, I think this type of army shows that we're issuing A moves to a certain spot and then we're doing other stuff. We have to pay more attention to this because the whole Protoss army could be here and be jumping on us and it'd be game over. Whenever we're moving our army out in TvP, beyond the confines of our vision and mines and turrets, we have to pay extra attention to the army. And before we go and do anything else, we have to put them in a defensible position, like with siege and or mines. So we can't leave these guys clumped here unsieged while we go manage our base. Luckily here, the Protoss is going for our choke, but he could have easily been here. We wouldn't have known that, and he could have gone for this army here. I think strategically you're doing the right thing by trying to slow push towards bottom right and take bottom right. It's like another pretty decent trade. I think our science vessel got sniped, or okay, it's AFK over here. Need to keep pumping science vessels in this game because again, 2 Stargate Arbiter, 1 science vessel is not going to cut it. 2. Okay, we have 3. It's a good amount. They just weren't with the army. Okay. You also need to have 6 to 8 Goliaths to punish these Arbs. They can't come and cast stasis and get out for free and get recycled for more value. So Goliaths die very easily in these battles, in these messy battles, but you just have to keep track of your Goliath count and replenish the Goliaths. So like here we're making all vultures and tanks, but I would have liked to see a round of Goliaths. Still not mining this gas here. It's really hurting us because look at our gas bank. And we're not getting, we aren't able to support double armory upgrades as a result. Again, yeah, this is good. This is correct strategically. Just in terms of execution, more mines and turrets up here. Leave 1 or 2 siege tanks along these paths to kind of slow them down. But like here he comes, you need to scan. Good scan. Vultures are not rallied, so it's pure tank, which is very dangerous. If this guy's army was more better composed and didn't come in a straight line. Yeah, these Arbs are, again, they're going to be able to stasis and get out for more value later because we don't have Goliaths in this army. Got to get our 4th mining. Yeah, now it's a very difficult time, this part of the game, because the Protoss is basically able to, take 1 probe, create entire civilizations anywhere they want, and just kind of move this army. On the other hand, we have to keep scanning for cloak, sieging, mining. Like, there's so much stuff you have to do, right? And I guess my only advice is to try to do fewer things. Don't try to do too many things. So definitely no more vulture excursions until you've solidified your 4th and gone in mining, which we have not done. So this probably should have been done before we try to take this out. Like, we're not in a huge rush to take this out, but it feels like we're in a rush to take it out because we're just moving this whole thing down here. But again, this is exposed, it's not mining. This is exposed, the stuff here is not sieged, there's no turrets, there's no mines. So ultimately, I think that's what probably led to the loss here. Yeah, we're just out of gas at this point because we never really started mining our 4th. Even though we took like a bunch of good trades, Protoss probably on 6 base, and we're essentially on 3 base this game because the 4th again like never really came up. At this point to win, we need to take this and get like 150 supply to block all this corridor. And then finally take bottom right. See his army? EMP right there. Boom. But you see the army movement here? This is what I'm talking about. All very clumpy, and Like we move to one spot and then we look away to do other stuff. You could get jumped on here easily. And now we're sieging too late. Actually, no, that's not too late. We have full vision of the Protoss the entire time. Again, a really good trade. But it's a very hard game still. Good EMP. No turrets, no mines, so he can still come recall here anytime, and he has vision with his ops. We EMP that guy, which is great, but it's not reliable, I would say. They can always, just assume they can always sneak in an ARB from a random angle at a time when your attention is distracted. It's not reliable to like EMP defend ARBs. You need to have the basic Arbiter defense laid down here. Which we don't, it's just 4 tanks. That will get crushed by a recall. Alright, that's pretty much a wrap. So, takeaways. We need to scan the Protoss earlier to see what they're up to. We just don't know what they're doing, and if that's the case, then we don't know what to do with the army. We don't know like where to defend, what tech to get, or anything. So we have to do that. Pay more attention to our army. I know we didn't really get jumped on this game, but I just saw a couple instances where we could have been jumped on, and those would have turned into like pretty bad trades because of clump and late siege. Focus on your base and making sure everything's tied up before you go out for vulture excursions. We went for a couple of like 4 vultures here and 4 vultures here that, you know, in the end didn't really do anything, but we could have been spending that time like fixing our 4th, fixing our 3rd, like which never really started mining gas, or making the comp set until like game was over. Things like that, right? Just don't feel in a rush to send vultures out just for the sake of sending vultures out. You have to make sure all your stuff is good to go first. And then, yeah, I think you already know this, but keep an eye on your upgrades. We missed some upgrades here that would have been good to have. And set up your 4th with the same attention that you set up your 3rd, which is turrets, mines, whatever. Don't assume that this can block anything, these 4 tanks. They won't. Replenish Goliaths in your army to try to kill Arbiters so that they don't get to keep coming back for more spells. And before going to bust the Protoss base in your quadrant, you need to make sure all your stuff is tied up. So at the beginning of the game, we had mines like from here all the way to here, so we had like ample warning of the Protoss bust. As the game went on, those mines disappeared and we never really replaced them. So a couple times the Protoss came into our, just moved into our rally point, and we took some kind of bad trades there. And that's because we didn't have the advanced warning of the mines. So again, you have to kind of replace those, put turrets, tanks out there, and solidify the 4th before you're allowed to go and say, hey, I'm going to kill a Protoss expansion. Because the Protoss can just say, okay, well, have that expansion. I have like 1 probe mining there, whatever. I'm going to go counter you somewhere else. And then if your other places aren't defended, you're going to run into a big problem. So that's it. Let me know if any of this doesn't make sense, or if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.